Mark, thank you very much indeed for joining us today. Just looking at the top athletes who've got involved with BioSteel, I'm sure that was one of the reasons you were attracted to this product.
Certainly, the number of endorsements and people who genuinely use this product is a big deal, and frankly, it just speaks to the quality of the sports hydration products that BioSteel puts out. So I think it's a combination, and today what through our acquisition of a majority stake of this company, we're really in a position to continue and expand this amazing product lineup while introducing a new lineup with CBD products, which we think has incredible opportunity.
You're not disclosing how much cash you're paying here. Why is that?
Well, the cannabis sector is still a competitive market with lots of M&A. So it's not a material price in terms of our balance sheet and cash on hand. And so it's for us, it's about keeping that competitive information quiet.
Will you at some stage reveal that information?
I think as our financials come out, these things will be presented. But I think the focus for us today is really how exciting this opportunity is. We have around the world, global multi-billion-dollar CBD opportunities developing. You see descheduling in the United States and South Africa, among other places, on the one hand, and on the other hand, you have not just athletes, but consumers around the world swearing by CBD as part of their wellness regime. So for us, this is an opportunity to differentiate, to take an established, known brand with credibility, a product that speaks for itself, with a wide variety of people who use it, and to layer in CBD and really to offer a differentiated product that we think will lead to exponentially larger sales.
Aren't you at risk, though, of running into a regulatory morass here? Because, as you know, countries around the world tend to take their lead in regulation from the USA, and the Food and Drug Administration says some CBD products are being marketed with unproven medical claims. They also say CBD products are still subject to the same requirements as FDA-regulated products. So isn't there a risk that the US FDA will say, no, we want these products to go through a big, rigorous and expensive testing process?
So I think there's two things to say. The first is to be clear that we will continue to market and sell the non-CBD versions of the BioSteel products. But on the CBD side, we're certainly working very closely in the United States. The FDA, certainly is involved in governing CBD products, but at the end of the day, there's a problem, which is there are a whole number of unregulated products, as you say, making claims that may or may not be correct. So the FDA, I think, really has an opportunity to step in and set appropriate rules, and for a company like ours. Again, scientifically based, with clinical programs underway, we still believe that the CBD market is an excellent opportunity in the United States and one that is available in the near term.
Well, certainly you've been among the heaviest spenders on research in the industry, and you have lots of medical ventures. Okay, so you presumably would be in a good position if regulation comes down. But as you know, the FDA process can be unpredictable and drawn out, so that's got to be a risk to growth in CBD products across the board.
So, when the government made the changes to deschedule CBD, this was a great development, right? So we have American farmers producing hemp with CBD in it. We have our own production facilities underway. We have supply chains that we've built out. So we actually remain very confident that within this fiscal year, we'll be in a position to be selling CBD products in the United States.
Can we just turn to the broader Canopy's broader growth plans? Of course, every marijuana stock just about is under pressure. That's not unique to Canopy. But why would you say investors are cool on the sector right now?
So you're right. The entire sector is facing sell side pressure. I think it's there's two ways to look at it. There's a for the first time in some ways we have metrics available on performance. And I think, in the Canadian sector, for example, just the progression of the overall Canadian market hasn't been what investors expected. And that's leading, I think, to some short-term pain in terms of the results that people are seeing. But I think it is important to step back, look at the big picture, and all of the excitement, all of the reasons why people believe in the cannabis sector are still there. There is a market opportunity worth hundreds of billions of dollars around the world, and those fundamentals haven't changed. And it's a long-term game, and Canopy is certainly focused on the long term. And so the question investors should be asking is which companies have made the investments in intellectual property, in brands, in scaled know-how, in infrastructure, in the teams to execute on those things to succeed and create that long-term shareholder value over the next number of years. And certainly we feel very good about what Canopy has done to position itself.
Now, you may have seen that MKM Partners just a few days ago started coverage of the company with a neutral. One point they raised was they reckon that all of Canopy's revenue has been swallowed up by equity compensation, and that the company's had a very high level of equity compensation. And in fact, with no other costs, cost of sales, etc., the company would have lost money because of that high equity compensation. Are you going to rein that in?
So I'd step back and look at a couple pieces of that and unpack it. The first thing is, as you say, most of that is stock-based compensation, which ultimately results from the fact that options were granted to people across the entire company at a lower price, and the company obviously saw incredible appreciation of its stock price, and it's that success in the stock market that ultimately leads to that higher stock-based compensation. So it's a bit of a result of the circumstances that developed. But I would say that as we've now matured, as we're a bigger company, the compensation structure that we're looking at, the total rewards program, is developing. So we're seeing less emphasis on options, more emphasis on short-term bonuses or just the general compensation package. When you're a startup company, you pay under market and you compensate with options. And when you're a larger company, that starts to reverse. So I think to answer the question directly, yes, a number of steps have been taken to ensure that our compensation packages are appropriately aligned to the company and its performance and its current state of development.
One last thing, when are you going to be profitable on a sustainable per share basis? Because again, MKM Partners reckon you won't be in that position until fiscal 2022. When are you telling investors you will have sustainable profits?
So we're focused on the long term. So what we've said is in the medium term, being the next 3 to 5 years, we expect to be profitable as a company. And this is a reflection of the opportunity that is out there. There is this incredible opportunity. You see, the CBD opportunity we've discussed in the United States, the Canadian recreational opportunity, medical opportunities in places like Australia and Germany, clinical opportunities, animal health. There is this wealth of sales potential out there. And again, that is worth hundreds of billions of dollars. So we're going to make the right decisions to achieve and position ourselves for that long-term shareholder value, while of course focusing on short-term revenue and a path towards profitability and getting that balance right.
And Mark, just before we go, last I heard you were going to be interim CEO. I'm sure you're interested in the top job, but can you give us any kind of an update on when Canopy will announce its permanent CEO?
That's correct. So I will be stepping down towards the end of this year. That is something we've made public before, and a search is underway. And so we have a number of great candidates in the queue. I'm very excited to see the caliber of people who exist, and I expect to see that transition occur within the calendar year. But I think it's again important just to emphasize that that CEO role is important, but at the end of the day, it's one person, and what this company really is about is thousands of people around the world who have committed themselves to a vision, to a belief in a product, in a company, and all of that continues. Was true yesterday, is true today, and will be true tomorrow. So it's a very exciting time for the company.